I will be teaching a course in the fall about what the best electionals are for next year, and that'll be the best time to start a business and the best time to get married and the best time to start a diet even. While I'm talking about dieting, I'd like to read you a sentence from a very old book that I've been referring to, and this woman here says, dieting is often started at a time when the current vibes indicate a struggle. Now, you don't want to have a diet be a struggle, do you? A tip here is to watch the ephemeris for a waning moon. That trines your own Uranus. Therefore, you will be set free of the craving of food. Makes sense. Makes good sense. So whenever the moon, check out where your Uranus is in your horoscope. Most everybody wants to diet, that's for sure. And then find when the moon is trine that from a waning position. That's after the full moon, okay? So you're building momentum for the new moon, we'll say. Now, there's also a good thing you can do with real estate. When you're looking to buy a home, you're going to cast one horoscope for the search, another horoscope, the electional that is, for when you're signing the legal document, and a third electional for when you actually move in. Yes, and probably for marriage, you could probably do an electional for when the groom takes the bride over the threshold as well. But truthfully speaking, if you've been looking for a home and you're having a hard time, you can choose a new beginning, and you will find it very, very quickly, and you won't waste all your time. It's kind of like getting in that wonderful rapid that just takes you right where you need to be, right? So that's what we need to, that's the magic of electional astrology. It can tell you exactly when to make that move. So in terms of that now, like I said before, the moon could be in Cancer, and that would be helpful too. You can't always put, see, we would like to put the sun in the 4th house because that's the house of the home and the family. But that would mean that you were shopping for a home. You shop for a home like, around 10 o'clock at night towards midnight. So that won't work. But the funny thing about having the sun down there is that's when we spend most of our time at home, is in those evening hours. And so I just want to mention that. Here we go. Now, the other thing we want to look for is group activities. When we're getting involved with group activities, we'd like to have the moon in air sign because it means good communication for the group. And I think Aquarius would be probably the best place. You also want to have a good Uranus and a Saturn positioning because they also are the rulers of Aquarius. So you want to watch your moon and your rulers. Okay, so let's take a look. I have an example here of electional for the dedication of the Twin Towers. Now, I'm not exactly sure of the hour, but no doubt you'll see when I show you the chart that the day was not really one of the best days for something like this. It was April the 4th, 1973. Actually, I was here for that, and the sun is in Aries. That's a pretty good place for, strong initiative. And Venus was also in Aries. The moon is in Taurus, or the moon could be in Aries if it was earlier in the morning. So we're not quite sure. But the moon is actually afflicted because no matter if it was 9 o'clock in the morning or 12 o'clock, it is receiving a square from Mars. The good thing in this electional is that Mars and Jupiter are together, and that's usually the sign of success. And that was the case for quite some time. But look at this. The sun is afflicted. And so what we have here is Uranus, a planet that deals with sudden actions. And if it was around 12, it would have been down in the foundation. We wouldn't want to have an angular Uranus there, that's for sure, because it means explosions. Now, this particular building was attacked once before it fell. And so we can see the instability here. In the 4th house of real estate with the Uranus there, we go through some sudden surprises. Now, there's another problem. The moon is also afflicted by Jupiter. And maybe in some ways it was a little too grandiose, we could say. And finally, the third problem is the Uranus-Chiron opposition too, which is the wound, the sudden wound, incurring a sudden wound. So that's basically the fate. There's also a Mercury-Saturn square in this horoscope on this day, which is not really that good for business. I mean, it's a sign of a shrewd business person, but the business doesn't flow very well. So in the long run, it wasn't a good idea to have a dedication on that day. We want to look for better, far better aspects than that. Okay, so now you know that electional astrology will help you find the timing to initiate your different projects, and it will make your life work like magic.